You can audit your identity all you want, but if you don't have rituals to reconnect you with who you are, the drift will happen again. Welcome to Daily Power Boost. Ignite your potential, the podcast where your transformation begins. I'm Sean Michael, and each day I'll bring you quick, impactful insights and action steps to fuel your personal and professional growth. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a leader, or someone ready to break limits and ignite greatness, this is your daily power boost to crush obstacles, stay focused, and awaken the extraordinary potential within you. Because remember, greatness begins within. Let's go. Welcome back to Daily Power Boost. For the last 6 episodes, we've been building your identity anchor. We learned to lead from who you are rather than who they think you are. Detoxed from the applause trap. We honored private victories over public wins. We exposed the integrity gap. We even audited where you've drifted from your core. Today, we anchor it. Because awareness without practice, that's just knowing you're lost and still wandering. A few years ago, I realized I was drifting. I'd gotten so busy responding to what the world needed from me that I stopped doing the things that reminded me who I was. I used to journal regularly. I stopped. I used to take long walks without my phone. I stopped. I used to sit in silence and just think. I stopped. And I told myself it was because I was too busy. The truth? I'd stopped prioritizing the rituals that kept me grounded. Then one day my wife said something I'll never forget. You're here, but you're not here. And she was right. I was physically present, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I was scattered across 1,000 decisions, 100 demands, a dozen versions of myself that I was trying to be. That's when I realized I didn't need more strategy. I needed rituals that brought me back to center. Here's what happens when you don't have anchoring rituals. You drift without even noticing. You respond to urgency instead of leading from clarity. You become reactive because you've lost the space to be intentional. And the busier you get, the more you convince yourself you don't have time for the rituals. But I want to say that's backwards. The busier you are, the more you need them. Because rituals aren't optional when you're growing. They're the only thing keeping you from becoming someone you won't recognize. Here's the shift. Anchoring rituals aren't about productivity. They're about identity. They're a non-negotiable practice that reconnects you to who you are. Not what you do, not what you've accomplished, not who the market needs you to be. You. The leaders who last, they protect these rituals like their life depends on it, because it does. Let me reframe what an anchoring ritual really is. It's not a morning routine you saw on Instagram or some hack to optimize your day. An anchoring ritual is something you do regularly that reminds you, this is who I am when no one is watching. Could be journaling, not for content, for clarity. Or walking, not for exercise, but for thinking. Silence, not for meditation, for listening to yourself. Reading, not for learning, but for grounding. Creating, not for an audience, but for your soul. The ritual itself doesn't matter. What matters is that it reconnects you to your core, without performance, without pressure, without an audience. Here's how you build your anchor practice. Step 1, name your non-negotiables. What are 2 or 3 rituals that when you do them, you feel like yourself again? Not what sounds impressive, what actually grounds you. Step 2, schedule them like meetings. These aren't if I have time activities. This is how I stay human activities. Block the time, protect it like your most important client. Step 3, do them even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, because that's when you need them the most. Step 4, audit quarterly. Every 3 months, ask, are these rituals still grounding me, or have they become another performance? If they become a performance, change them. Here's what I want you to know as we close this arc. You've built your identity anchor. You know who you are when no one's watching. You know the gap between public and private, and you're closing it. You've audited where you've drifted. Now you have the rituals to keep you grounded. And these rituals, they're not optional. They're the foundation of everything you're building next. This was the anchor practice, building rituals that keep you grounded. We just closed Arc 1, which was the identity anchor. You know who you are, you know where you've drifted, you know how to stay grounded. Tomorrow, the reset ritual. What to do when you've drifted. Because anchoring practices keep you grounded. They don't give you immunity to drift, though. And when drift happens, and I promise it will, you need to know how to find your way back. With strength and heart, I'm Shawn Michael. Stay close.
Thanks for tuning in to Daily Power Boost. Ignite your potential. Remember, transformation starts with action. So take today's insight, make it your own, and awaken your inner potential. Because remember, greatness begins within. Catch you tomorrow for your next Power Boost.